Let's look at Safari on your iPad. This is the Safari icon just here. I'm just going to tap that with my finger. And that's how you open Safari. Now at the moment I do not have any web pages open, and I wanted to talk about the two bars at the top. This one and the one on the right here. Now the difference between these is that the one on the right, that's this one here, is a search area. You search for things. So if you want to look up a TV show or look up a book, that's where you search for it. If you know the address of a site that you want to go to, you can type it directly into this area here, the address bar. So let's have a look. www, the iPad tutor. So I know the address, I can type it directly in, it's a .com, and then I press the go button. It now goes online and it looks for my website. So there's my website, the iPad tutor. If this is a website that you want to visit on a regular basis, you might want to save this as a bookmark. You can add a bookmark and give it a name. So I can take out some of this information that I don't want to see. I can choose where I want to store that, so either in the bookmarks or in the bookmarks bar, and then save. When I tap the address bar again, you'll see that I've now got the iPad tutor just here. I'm just touching it, it's highlighting. When I let go, it'll reload that page. So if I go somewhere else, let's just look up Apple computers. So Apple computer. There's one. Let's look up Apple computer. There's the official Apple store. I just touch that and it'll now launch that page for me. So there we are. There's the Apple store. It's actually detected my country, so it's taken me to the right Apple store for my country. But if I want to return back to the iPad tutor, I can touch in that area there. You'll see the iPad tutors come up in the bookmarks bar, so I can touch that and I'll leave that page and I'll come back to this one. You are allowed to have several pages open at once. Safari uses something called tabs. Now there's a plus sign down the right hand side here, so if I touch that, it brings up a new tab. I can go Apple computer and it takes me to that search again. So I can go to the official Apple store and now I can look for something else. Let's say I want iPad covers. So I tap that again, delete everything that's there just by holding down that backspace key, and let's look for iPad covers. iPad covers with keyboards for kids, reviews and so on. So now I've got three tabs open: iPad covers, the Apple Store and the iPad tutor. And you just touch each one to jump between them. Let's have a look at our options. We've looked at add bookmark. We can add to a reading list and that'll keep a list of all the things. This one's quite useful, the add to Homescreen. If I touch that, call it the iPad tutor, and we'll add that to our home screen. And there it is. It tells me how I can rearrange icons on my home screen. Dismiss that. And there is my iPad tutor. If I touch that, it will open Safari and take me directly to that site. So for sites that you use a lot, putting it on your home screen can be quite useful. Be warned, however, that you can end up with a lot of buttons on your home screen. These are your bookmarks. So if I had anything in my reading list, it would appear here. In my bookmarks bar, I have the iPad tutor, and I touch it and it takes me to that website. So just to refresh, we have the address bar where you type in the physical address, what's known as the URL, the physical address of the website you want to go to. On the right hand side, we can type in something we want to look for. So we want to look for something on the internet, we can use that. We can have several tabs open. We can increase the number of tabs. We can just keep adding more and more tabs. There is a limit. Eventually you reach a limit, you're not allowed to have any more tabs. Also, you'll find that the words get too small for you to read what's on each tab. I'm going to tap that search again. Only this time I'm going to look on this page. Let's look for email. So is there anything here? And it jumps you on that page, jumps you straight to email. So the search is several parts. You can search Google, which will search the entire internet, or you can use this part just here, search on the page. And you can also jump between different parts on the page. So it's actually found 4 matches, and you can jump to each of those 4 matches. This button at the bottom right hand corner allows you to split your keyboard or undock it, but I want to just tap that once and make my keyboard go away because I want to scroll through this. I'm just moving my finger from the top down and I'm scrolling through my web page. If you put 2 fingers on the screen and pull them together, it's called pinch, and it makes the web page smaller. Pull them apart and it makes the website bigger. So you can pinch your pages to zoom in and zoom out. You can double tap, so let's just zoom in, double tap on that picture and it zooms to fit the page. So that picture has now been zoomed to fit the screen of my iPad. If I turn my iPad to portrait, zoom in, double tap on that picture, and you can see it zoomed me to the width of my iPad. Change it portrait to landscape and you can see my page is zoomed in. You can select parts of a website if you double tap. So what you do is you tap and hold, and that selects a small part, and you get these 2 lollipops. So you click and drag, and now it's selected the whole paragraph. I can copy that, I can go to another application, and I can paste that part that I've just copied. So let's go to our notes and paste that in. I'll click on the home button, find my notes, and I've double tapped paste. So I've copied it from my website, pasted it into a note which I can then send on to people. Let's go back to Safari. What if I like this website and I want to send it to somebody? This opens up your email. Type in the address of the person you want to send it to. The subject's already filled in, the link is already filled in and sent from my iPad, which you can change as your signature, and then send, and off it goes. Let's go back to our settings. We have settings for Safari. So, what search engine do you want to use? Google, Yahoo, or Bing. Autofill is off. You can turn it on, and what it'll do is it'll use your contact information from your contacts. So I haven't got any in here, but if you had your own contacts in here, you could choose your contacts. It would automatically fill in websites that need your permission. You can always show the bookmarks bar, so it'll always be on. At the moment I've got it set to off, which means I've got to click in the address bar in order for that to show up. Private browsing changes completely the look of Safari, so I'll do that in a minute. I like to block pop-ups, and JavaScript is useful. You can clear cookies and data. That'll remove everything from everywhere you've been, so it won't remember anything. Let's have a look at private browsing. Private browsing, first of all, it's going to close all my tabs, and then you'll see that my Safari looks quite different. Notice it's got the black border to it. So this is private browsing. It's got the black border, and it doesn't remember anything about where you've been. It doesn't remember any passwords or anything like that, so you have to type and remember everything to type it in. Back to my settings. And you can see Safari's gone back to that sort of grey colour. So in private browsing, great if you have to share your iPad with other people and you don't want to know what any of your passwords are. Otherwise you can use the regular browsing. Now it's forgotten everywhere that we've been, so we have to type it all in again. The iPad tutor. There we are. And remember, if you want to create a new tab, you tap that button. And we can search for whatever you need to find. I think we used iPad covers. And there you are.